Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Kelly Green Crew. Episode 5, I believe it is now, gentlemen.
Yes,
Right?
sir. Yes,
Right, 5?
sir.
Yeah. We got a special guest today, Mr. Steven Heiter from Gatecity Sports. What's going on, man?
Not too much, man. How's everybody doing?
Doing
Pretty
good, man.
good, man.
Fucking loving that preseason game we did, you know?
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
it was impressive, man. Impressive from first and second units.
Yeah. So how do you feel? We're just gonna go right into defense because that was really awesome. To see our guys, from Georgia. How do you feel about them? In a tandem.
I mean, they played off of each other pretty well. I mean, you could tell that there's some chemistry built in between those two. It's really important when you're playing linebacker. You got to trust the blocks that are in front of you. A lot of time on my channel, I talk about underfronts and I talk about the role of the 3 technique in underfront and how he's got to keep that will linebacker clean to scrape over the top of a defense. I mean, it's more complex than that, right? It goes outside of just a will linebacker and a 3 technique and an underfront, right? And you can see that immediate chemistry between Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis and the fact that, man, they just know Nakobe knows how to clean up for what Jordan's doing and Jordan knows how to keep Nakobe clean to do it. And I think those dudes in run defense, even a guy like TJ Edwards, who's really strong at the point of attack too and can read things really well from a run defense standpoint, I think it's going to be really hard to run the ball on this team. I mean, we got some bodies up front that's really going to cause some chaos with Fletch and Jordan Davis out there. That's going to be hard to move the ball like that.
And the Gravedigger.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say that Javon Hargrave is a much better pass rusher than he is a run defender. But, I mean, he's got some experience, playing some 2-gap with Pittsburgh and stuff like that.
Yo, this is a pleasure. This is a pleasure to meet you, City Sports. I've been following your page for a while, doing the X and the O's, and then seeing how you break down film.
Love it.
Big fan. Love it. So,
appreciate you.
When you say, Jordan Davis was, he was clogging up lanes. He even made was it Breece Hall? He made him shift a different way. I don't know if you guys seen that. Yeah. I was like, damn,
turned him into breakfast.
Oh my goodness, you know what I mean? And then the other one, he had
Pancake City.
I think he had the guard. He had a center, a guard, and a tackle guard him at one point. I was like, this is a picture of 1,000 words. And you know what's funny? When I seen the picture, I was like, AK, you was right on this one. You was right on.
Jordan, but the crazy thing is that Jordan Davis shouldn't make sense at nose to be 6'6". You're not going to get pad level at 6'6".
Yeah.
When you're 300 and he's weighed in, they say 336. I don't know if that's true or not.
I call Cap.
I'll take their word for it, but I got my
okay.
I got my dots on that one as well.
And when you
about 50,
when you're saying pad level,
that's what
he more than that. Nah, he more than that. Let's go 365 on a nice day.
He eating chicken wrapped in bacon.
No tasty cakes, no nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He runs a 4.72. I don't care how fat he is, as long as he keeps moving like that.
Well, you shouldn't move when you're that big. You shouldn't be able to move like that.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Who cares, man?
Yeah, he transverses space and time.
Right.
He's an anomaly.
The thing I wanted him to work on was he needs to get a little bit lower. He is too damn because he's too damn tall. So if he can get a little lower and have his base as the ground.
I don't know if it's physically possible.
I know it's hard because number one, you're usually as a nose, right? He's a nose, right? So you're gonna have either the center or the guard punching you first before contact is even made. They're gonna punch you first. And then he's a big guy. You're gonna get stand up a little bit because you got to gravitate your center of your core to make sure that you can put the force back. You know what I'm saying? So that's hard. That's the only thing I see, and I was like, he just need to get a little lower. He get a little lower, more. Oh my god, it's gonna be problems.
It's gonna be crazy, man. Because there was a play that he had that you could see that he's engaging with the center. He's locating the ball. He locates the ball and just absolutely destroys this center. And it's just like, okay, I'm done with you. I'm moving on to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was like, man, I don't even know what you do. Like as a coach, I don't know how you coach like a guy like, hey man, you know, you got to get your hand placement right. Like, man, this ain't got crap to do with hand placement. This dude's big and he's strong and he's fast.
How do you
Like,
game plan
I don't
for
know
him?
that
You know,
you got to double up on him. There's just no way. You can't let that guy completely dominate your line. You have to double him.
Yeah.
You cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot go like. I would love to meet the guy who can anchor on him one-on-one because that is a strong man. Like
I got to ask
don't-
you, do you
I don't
think,
think there's any guy.
Mailata could hold his own against him?
they're both pretty big. Like
Man, that's like Godzilla. That's like
Right?
Godzilla.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. But if anyone could, it'd be him, man.
Oh.
Seriously, if any of our offensive linemen could, Mailata's got the best shot, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough, man. And they said that, oh boy, even though he got like, man, that one they caught him on film. They did Cam Jurgens dirty catching him on film. That one-on-one.
yeah, they did. That was
wrong.
dirty.
That was real dirty.
Well,
then
they did him so dirty. He was twerking. You see how he was twerking? He was twerking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Booty bumping everything. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, but you know what though, bro? The other offensive linemen all over the league who saw that made their eyes perk up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And just him being a humble, it's just Jordan Davis being a humble human being. You know,
Cam's
he's
not
asked,
small
like,
either, dude.
No.
yeah, he's
No,
not.
they
But like,
said that he anchored against him before. They did say that like he got caught on that play, but he won the first couple reps against him and anchored. And then I guess Jordan said,
Just
okay,
lift him up.
yeah, like I'm done. I'm just gonna go through you this time.
The bull rush now.
Yeah. Nuts, man.
You can come with me. We'll both go to the quarterback together.
Yo, at one point I thought he was gonna break him in half. Like when he started playing his feet to stop him, I'm like, bro, don't do that. He's gonna snap your spine. Like you just gonna
Yeah. It's man, that's a hard job, man. That's difficult. And like
Yeah.
you know, people at first they kept trying to compare him to you know Vita V, and I was like, man, like don't do that to a young guy.
He's not that
I
fat
don't want to
either.
compare him to, man, because there's not many dudes that are that strong and that fast. I mean, there's just not like you just don't find dudes like this. Like there's a reason why Howie was like, this dude is still on the board. Get forward. We got to go get this kid.
Man,
Well,
we had to make that trade though. You had to make that trade because if Baltimore's there, Jordan Davis is a
He's
Raven.
gone. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, dude, he damn near chased down Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Like, no lie. And that's not and Zach
Ended
Wilson.
Zach Wilson's season basically.
Yeah. He dove to get away. He was like, ah.
Yeah, without even touching him.
Yeah.
And to point that out. And guess who was right there to tag him down the ground? N'Kobe Dean. Like he's the cleanup. Hey guys, the cleanup crew. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like that was so refreshing to see. Like and the way that N'Kobe Dean hit the tight. Is it the tight end or was it the running back that came through? Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Yo, he smacked it. He smacked the leaving G's out that cat.
It
was very impressive, man. Very impressive.
Yeah, you know, people made fun of the fact that they say, you know, I think they haven't weighed in like 231 to Kobe Dean. And a lot of people say that that's another one of those situations where he's probably light of that number, to be honest.
Yeah.
I tend to think that there's some accountability over these things, but I don't know to the extent of it. You know, I don't know that the NFL's down there like, oh, you know, we had to double check this. I don't think that's happening, honestly. But I will say that irregardless of that, when the guy came through and it's like, look, this is a stack and shed situation. Like, the coach was like, I don't need to stack and shed nothing. I'm just going to straight put this dude into the dirt. And it's like, okay, this dude's physical. Like, this young man can play. And I think what everyone is forgetting is, yeah, he might be 225, 230. He's also 5'11". The lower man is normally going to win.
More leverage.
Yeah.
More leverage. Yep.
You know, so I think people forget that. Like, Bobby Wagner is not a tall guy. People don't realize about Bobby Wagner. He's not a tall dude. Like, you know, the typical linebacker in today's NFL is viewed to be, you want him to be about 6'2" or taller. And I think, to be honest, if I'm not mistaken, Bobby Wagner is just a shade above 6 foot. So he's not a tall guy, but Bobby Wagner is probably, you know, for about a good 5 to 7 year span, he was probably arguably one of the best if not the best. He was certainly one of the best linebackers in that 5 to 7 year window that occurred. And he's not a big dude. Like, I mean, there are these guys, you know, Jesse Tuggle from back in the day, not a big dude, not a tall guy. But I think people forget, man, sometimes when you're playing linebacker, yes, if you're shorter and you don't have great arm length, you do worry about linemen getting up on you, not being able to stack and shed the guy. But also, when you're coming into
look at Mike Singletary. Michael Singletary was Michael Singletary is a little guy. He was like 5'9", light in the ass, but he can hit. He had heart. And a lot of times, at the linebacker position gets forgotten because it's the new football. This is the new football where they air it out. Everybody is your linebackers need to cover, right? They don't need to necessarily be thumping and reading the plays. They look at Singleton. Singleton looked good with the Broncos with the Cowboys yesterday. He just didn't work out here because he just. But it's just one of those things. Like I think the last good Eagle linebacker we had was Nigel Bradley.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I think he started to fall off towards the end. I think age caught up to him a little bit. And to be fair, if you're playing off ball, if you're an off ball linebacker, you're going to have some shady injury history reports. I mean, you're gonna sustain injuries. There's no doubt about it. It's a physical position. It requires you to really mix it up, especially. I think the game's evolving a little bit today, and you're seeing more of these coverage linebackers come into the league. But it really wasn't that long ago that we were still predominantly a two-back set NFL. I mean, that was really the mid-2000s. Think of how long the Eagles carried a fullback. It really wasn't until you get Jason Avant, and then you start spreading more to the 11-man, and that was not too long ago. I mean, it seemed for I should say for us older guys, it doesn't seem that long ago. And if you're really young, that might seem like forever ago.
What was that? 2013, 2012.
I would say 2012 was the acceleration of it, but Andy Reid kind of started spreading it out around 2008-ish, somewhere in that area.
Right.
It's when he, ended up getting like Avant, then they drafted, they ended up drafting Deshaun Jackson, and then they got Macklin, and they started spreading it out a little bit more. Yeah. But for the longest time, I mean, Andy Reid's offense was a running offense. I mean, I think everyone kind of forgets that.
I think you know why though. You know why people forget that because we had. Buck Holter, we had Westbrook, and then Shady, and then, we always had a evolving running back. Yep. So that was the main. We ran the ball a lot, and that's why I think it got to the point where with that whole McNabb, Michael Vick, that little trans area, that little translation area where we was just like, all right, like who else is next, and then bam. Riley Cooper comes out and he explodes. He explodes that 1 year. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's crazy.
I know people don't like this name in Philadelphia, but I think there could be something to this, which is I recall the expansion of Andy Reid's offense coinciding with Marty Morningwig getting here. I'm being honest. Marty Morningwig took over play calling. He became, I think he was named like offensive assistant of the year like twice. Like, I'm not too sure that some of the things that Reid's giving credit for aren't honestly Marty Morningwig, to be quite real about it. I'm not saying that Reid didn't take those things
spacing, most definitely.
It takes a whole team too. You know what I mean? It's not just one guy. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but you still got to draw the X to the O's.
Game coordinator is stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, you all work together on that, though. So how big is Kaiser White? Do you know?
Man, they say he's like 220 to 225-ish, man. Maybe if you put him in pads and sprayed him with a hose. I don't think so, personally. I don't think he's quite that big, if I'm being real. But the dude's fast, man. He's tough for an undersized linebacker. I'm not saying that you can't get him into a position where he's overmatched. He's just got a pulling guard on him. And, there's only so much you can do at 220 on that. But I'll tell you this, he's not Eric Wilson. When I saw Wilson's film, I was trying to sound the alarm bells for everybody. I was like, yo, you guys thought Nate Gary was bad? Wait till you see this dude.
Oh, my God. You were right. So right. Freaking pile hopper.
It's horrible. I can't watch this guy. I was trying to tell you, good coverage linebacker, but he is horrendous in run support. And then, what happened on the field last year with him. I don't think that's what Kaiser White is. I think Kaiser White's better in run support than that. But I think that his instincts are top notch. And I think some of that probably has to do with the fact that he played kind of a roving safety role at West Virginia. So that kind of gives him that box mentality. So I think he's already kind of has that kind of mentality to him, even though he's a little undersized. But like I said, if you get a team that's pulling that's running some traps, stuff like that on him, like, yeah, sure. I mean, that could be a problem. Like, then you're just hoping he can set the edge and push the ball back inside or further outside to the rest of the defense. But it's tough, man. Like, it's gonna be tough to see how you play each of these guys, because Davion Taylor, from what I understand, has had a really, really good camp. And it's frustrating because I can't use my own eyes to grade some of this stuff. I can only judge reports coming out, And it seems like we got a really solid 4-man rotation at off-ball linebacker. I don't know how it's going to stack its way out in terms of playing time. My gut feeling is clearly TJ Edwards and Kaiser White will be the first down, kind of starters. But sometimes that label is maybe misattributed and maybe misunderstood, because just because you start the game doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have the most snaps that season's end. I don't know that you're going to lead the snap count per se.
Yeah.
You might be using different players for, any different schemes or, any different ways you're running the defense too. And that could go up against different teams too. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
Well, it also depends on if you're going to be running cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. What type of scheming they're going to be, like you guys talking about schemes. This defense is going to be a hybrid. So there's going to be a 4-3-3-4. There's going to be a lot, there's going to be a lot coming at them we all trust Gannon, right? All we trust, right?
Yeah, you have to, right?
I wanted to talk about that too. I think the talent is really going to outweigh him. You know what I mean? I really believe that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to view it just because. Yeah, I talked to a few people that have looked over film with me, and we talked a little bit about what Gannon's coverage scheme was supposed to be. And the general consensus I got from people is that because he had to overcommit to stopping the run, it took away elements of the windows for the passing game, which made us really soft in coverage. Basically, that's the Jordan Davis fix. And plugging in Jordan Davis into the lineup and not have to commit so many people to the run is going to allow those linebackers to drop in coverage. And if you got guys like Kaiser White, who's got really good instincts for where to be in that zone and can read quarterbacks really well, you can get those, those type of plays. I also think it's going to help that they won't need as much help over the top of James Bradbury as they did Steven Nelson. And, there were plays last year that I'm not too sure that it was Gannon. It could have been.
Right.
No one really knows. But, the play that comes to me is the Guyton, that third down freaking Guyton completion when we had him backed up against the goal line when we were playing the Chargers. Mm-hmm. And he just ran a simple out route. It was just a speed out. And I think it was like 3rd and 7. And he had to be, Steven Nelson has to be 8 yards off.
Yeah.
It is, I get Guyton's fast. I understand that. But it's like, dude, it's 3rd and 7. Situational awareness here. Like, I can't imagine a defensive coordinator is telling you to play that leverage. And then on top of that, bite so hard on a vertical push that he's gonna cut off on you at the top of the stem. Like, I can't imagine. It's like, dude, then why do you need that much cushion? Like,
yeah, he already got like 8 yards on him. Why you need that much cushion?
Yeah,
it don't even make sense.
Yeah. It was, it was painful to watch sometimes because I like Steven Nelson as a person. I think he's a really good guy. I do think that he's a scrappy football player. I think he fought back to the football well. I think he was a solid tackler. It's just like, I think if you got Steven Nelson 3 or 4 years ago, that dude would have been really good in Gannon's system. But I just felt like he clearly lost a step last year.
He wasn't fast enough. He wasn't. Yeah. His foot speed is just not there.
Yeah. And I hate crapping on dudes, man, because, like, at the end of the day, like, I try to tell people, like, at the end of the day, like, the worst dude on that football field is a tremendous athlete. Like,
yeah,
top-notch athlete, to be real about it. But it's like, when you get to that level, man, the margin of error is so small. Like, the most small detail can have a huge impact. And by the way, cameras are there to catch it. Like,
yes.
Hey. Every dog has his day. Every dog has his day.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Not everybody can be like Darius Slay, where he just like, I'll come back next play. I got you.
Right.
Like,
I know, right?
He just takes it right off.
That was another reason why I miss Jalen Mills. Jalen Mills had that. Hey, he had amnesia, but when the field gets short, I'm locking him down. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
But he'll give up a 70-yard play. He'd be like, hey, what you mean? I didn't give that up. Like, yeah, bro, it was you. That wasn't me. You know what I mean? I miss Jalen Mills, man.
He'll get routed up and the ball gets overthrown. But like, if you do that
Yeah.
Come on, man. Yeah.
If you don't stop that Matumbo stuff, 70 yards, man.
Yeah.
He was all about Philly. Yeah, the Green
I
Goblin.
loved it, man. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I need
he
him
was
to change
cool.
that hair to style. You play for the Patriots, not the, you're not the
You know,
Green
and I
Goblin.
really thought that when they switched him to safety, I thought that
Mhm.
he would have more success with that because I always thought that either put him as a tall nickel corner or put him
Yeah.
at safety, and I thought he would be better at doing
Yeah.
that, disrupting. I don't know that Jim Schwartz was using him correctly once he did that because Jim likes to run that single safety look. And I just think they tried to basically say like, oh, you're going to be the new Malcolm Jenkins.
But we were kind of strapped
You know.
though. Back then, we were kind of strapped. You had
Yeah, we were.
Malcolm Jenkins was more of a box safety at that time.
Exactly.
And then you had to use Jalen as the free roamer, and he had the confidence, he had swag. It just fit. It just fit.
I kind of felt like Mills played well at that like hybrid safety position. I don't know how y'all felt about it, but I mean, that's kind of how Belichick using them now over there in New England. So, I mean, it's a better fit for him. That's what he did in college. He really was like a nickel / linebacker / safety. That's his best role. Even out there at that corner position, I really wasn't that easy about Mills. It was like he was getting his ass beat. I ain't even gonna lie. He was getting his ass beat out there bad.
Hey, but he had swag with it. He's getting his ass whooped.
He had swag, but he was giving up 50-yard bombs and everything.
Double move.
I will say when the field shortened up though, and you needed a red zone stop.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
he was there.
But a lot of the times the field ain't shortened up though. They scored on them jerseys, so it's like
The Atlanta game, he helped us.
that was his best year. That was his best year. That Super Bowl year.
Yeah. 2017, most definitely.
No, it was tough, because I think that year, I think when Will Parks went down with the injury, I think it messed up exactly what they were trying to do. Because I think Will Parks was the perfect third safety. It just it was unfortunate. And I was really high on that Will Parks signing. I was like, yo, this dude is exactly what they actually need for this defense. And then it was like, man, like it'd be our luck that the guy we get, the guy that's from the area, the guy that would be a perfect fit for the system, goes down. And then like
remember that 17 year, that third, what's the third safety we had?
Corey Graham.
He made a lot of plays for us that year too.
Yeah, I know exactly. So I can't think of his name anymore.
I can't remember his
or
name.
something.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was Graham. I thought it was Corey Graham.
Corey Graham.
That's who it was. Yeah.
He made a lot of plays for us that year, that 2017 season.
Bro, that Tennessee game. Oh my God, that Tennessee game.
A lot of key tackles, interceptions, stops on third down. So it's great to have like three safeties that could really be on the field at all times.
Right.
I think that's the predicament they're in right now because I don't know that they have
exactly, and that's why I'm a little worried. Like, what's going on with Tart? Like,
he had some personal.
In my opinion, I know the whole personal thing, but like people. So we know Philadelphia sports, right? It's negative.
Yeah.
Right? And then some of the reporters, I'm gonna be honest with you, they don't really know like the outcome or of the position was supposed to be expected, right? You following me?
Yeah.
So they're like, oh well, Tart hasn't done anything. He's a safety though. Like, like what do you expect him to do? Like he's 6'2", he's rangy. He's played multiple positions in that 49ers defense. Yes, I get it. I was at the NFC Championship game when he played against the Rams and he dropped that pass. My wife was hot. I get it. But he is somebody, in my opinion, in that depth chart, when you talk about ratings, like safeties is Madden, I think he's the second best safety behind Marcus Epps.
Yeah. I honestly, the way that I would structure that safety position, I would absolutely keep Tart over Kavon Wallace and Hugo Amadi, who we just signed. I would keep him over both of those players. I really don't need to see Tart in camp to know that Tart can play professional football.
Right.
I think the concern you have with Tart is how fast can we get the guy up to speed in the system.
Yeah, and that's my thing.
They didn't understand the system.
And then I have another question for you, Gabe, and I'll shut up. What is up with Jimmy is it Moreland?
Moreland.
From,
He suffered a foot injury or something.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I've been asking everybody, and everybody's like, I don't even know. I haven't seen him.
Yeah. He
like,
suffered like a foot
I'm
injury.
real big. I'm high on him.
Yeah.
You talking about the one that came from Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's scrappy.
He's a good player too.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been an interesting one to watch and can't fight with some of these dudes because he's a bit of a fighter, like to a point where he'll draw penalties, to be real. But I mean, he is that kind of guy. Like he'll get in and mix it up a little bit. So I was kind of excited to see him go up against a guy like, don't get me wrong, AJ Brown would dominate him because it's just a different physical specimen. But still to see like him and Rager go at it, which Rager struggles with against press and getting those releases correctly. That's the dude.
We seen that in game one.
Like
we seen that in game one.
One thing to teach you how to beat man press.
Mm-hmm. We seen that in game one.
Yeah,
Moreland put them cuffs on Jalen, and then because he beat him over the top, and Wentz caught him, and then the next one Wentz tried to throw it to him, and then Jimmy he took it to the crib. I think, he didn't take it to the crib. He intercepted it and got tackled. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's more because Rieger ain't fight back to the ball. He just stopped cut his route.
Yeah, he just stopped. He waited for the ball to come to him. Yeah.
Yeah, Rager has. The funny thing is about Jalen is that he's talented. The young man has a tremendous amount of talent. He's a very good athlete, but it's just not
lazy about it.
Clicking. It's just not clicking for whatever reason. And
AK's brewing right now.
Yeah, it's tough because like this young man comes from a pedigree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like his dad was a former professional football player. His high school coach was John Kitna. Like, the dude has a pedigree. Like, I mean, it's crazy that it has not clicked in the NFL. And to be honest, I was really high on him in 2020's draft. Now, would I have ever taken him over Justin Jefferson? Nope.
Nope.
No. I don't know.
No.
And I like
that. You know why? That was Eric Moorhead's fault. Moorhead's fault. He went to bat for him. Pick Jalen Rager. Are you serious? Did you see what Justin Jefferson was doing? He was doing a gritty every damn play when he was at LSU.
Yeah,
exactly. The bifocals and everything. He was doing all of it.
Yep.
Oh,
exactly. And it was crazy is that look, Aaron Moorhead has great relationships with his former players and everything. And look, coaches get stuff wrong on evaluation. That that's a hard one because Howie has to that's how he's rolled. Howie's role is to be the mitigator between the coaches, the scouts, and the other front office personnel. And it's like, man, if you start messing up on who you trust, that's a problem. And I think that's what's helping with this staff. Mm-hmm. This staff has background in actually working the scouting departments. Nick Sirianni's done it at the college level. I think Jonathan Gannon actually did it at the pro level.
But Gate, in all honesty, what wide receiver has Aaron Moorhead developed? So you to even trust the call like that.
I hate him.
He's real tight with his claim to fame will be Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is the guy that he developed, to be honest. But I mean, now you get into the argument of development that was college. So how much the pro development with the Arizona Cardinals playing the Christian Kirk? You know what I mean? There's a lot of arguments around that.
I can name 0 wide receivers he developed.
So
the Eagles.
So you can't say Devontae Smith because
hold on. One question. So you wouldn't give him Watkins?
Yeah.
You wouldn't give him Watkins?
No. Quez Watkins was a dog before he came.
Quez didn't know how to run routes before he got here, man. I'm just gonna be
real.
Still
he's a better route. No, he's a better route runner.
He still don't know how to run routes.
Even but you remember when he broke in that game,
drag routes and flies. Mm-hmm. That's all he run. Drag routes, flies, probably a 7 on that.
I think he gonna surprise you.
He don't run no special routes. Any wide receiver can drag across the field.
Not just that, he said that he went outside the team on the off season and learned some shit.
You're supposed to. You got to go to private coaches.
Yeah. So Eric Moorhead is probably the worst coach that we have on this coaching staff.
It's tough, man, because I don't get a chance to talk to these dudes, but offensively, it don't look good when you look at the other guys. Like Brian Johnson's probably going to get a gig somewhere else.
Yeah,
it don't look good. It don't look good when you draft wide receivers every year because you can't develop none.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair to Moorhead, that problem was way before he got here. Like Moorhead is at least an actual guy who's played the position, knows technique, he knows those things. Like, I mean, to be fair, we had a dude out there in Carson Walsh, which I don't know what that man was doing, because we had to send the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and the freaking backup quarterback out there to help him. Like, that's not a good, like, that's a really bad look, man. Yeah. And that was when I lost my crap. That was like when I first started my YouTube channel, man. I lost it on Press Taylor, and I lost it on Carson Walsh. I mean, I went off on them too, because I felt like they were just trying to hide Press Taylor behind Carson Wentz, which was a huge mistake. And then I thought that Carson Walsh had no clue what he was doing. I thought that guy had absolutely no idea how to run a room.
I felt like some of his plays and his what he was trying to do was like he copied off Madden.
And they fired old dude that used to coach. He used to coach the receivers and stuff at UNC. They had him for a year, and the players didn't like him.
So was that like Mike Groh? That was Mike Groh's guy, right?
Nah, yeah, it was Mike Groh's guy, but it wasn't Mike Groh. It was I think he was. I can't remember if he was right after Groh or right before him. I can't remember if they brought Groh in after him or if he took over.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. Sure. I think he might have been right before Groh got brought here.
I don't understand why they got rid of Avante. Not Avante. I'm sorry. We were just talking about it. I draw the memory blank now.
Oh, Jason Avant.
Jason Avant. I don't know why they got rid of him.
He didn't want to do it. He said he didn't want to do it.
Okay, so the reason why he didn't want to do it because he was telling the wide receiver something else. Basically, he was telling Eric Moorhead was telling him, "This is what you need to do." And then Jason Vaughn's like, "Nah, don't do it. Do this way, this way, this way." And then when they would do it, he'd be like, "Why didn't you do it my way?" And then Jalen Reagor would be like, "Well, Jason told me to do it this way." And so that's why, you know what I'm saying? I never understood that. I just wish they would have given Jason Avant more of a chance to be able to coach.
He's more knowledgeable.
Yeah, he's more knowledgeable. He had the best hands.
And he's a teacher. He's a better teacher. A lot of
dudes in here have coached wide receivers on this coaching staff, to be honest with you. Kevin Patullo used to be a wide receiver coach. You know, you got Aaron Moorhead here. Aaron Moorhead has an assistant coach. I can't remember the dude's name. You got Nick Sirianni, who's coached wide receivers. Steichen coached wide receivers. I mean,
somebody got to get it together.
Yeah.
Hey, give me Hines Warrens. Give me Hines Warrens. Like, he's not even coaching. Give me him.
Mm-hmm. It's horrible when none of your receivers can beat press coverage. Like, how? Like, not one of them?
Not
one of them.
You know,
we're good now.
I hate to say it, but the best guy that I saw film on beating it last year was Quez. Quez actually could beat man because if you missed him with your hands,
because he quick.
Gone.
Yeah, it was over.
And that's just pure athleticism. That's not technique or nothing.
Right.
You miss him, he gone. That's just like DJ. DJ was one of the best wide receivers at being press coverage. You know why? Because he never got pressed.
Gingerbread man, your ass.
Well,
you never got pressed.
You gotta get
nobody would never play up on
it. You know you gotta get 12 to 15 feet off him to guard his little ass.
Yeah, you gotta give him some respect.
They're gonna have a very interesting receiving core though. This core is way better than people realize.
Well,
I talked to some other dudes that are on other fan bases. And like I've tried to tell them, like behind the scenes, like, yo, man, you guys are sleeping on how good this receiving core is. It's stacked, man. With AJ Brown being the dude that can go across the middle, make those tough contested plays.
Yeah.
Look, he's not as wingy, he's not as rangy as Alshon Jeffrey, but he's better. I'm telling you,
right?
He's a better route runner than Alshon was.
Way more physical too.
Yeah,
way more physical.
Yeah, Jalen can throw in his vicinity, and he's gonna get it. You know what I mean? You ain't even got to worry about the DB. You know what I mean?
There's no more. There's no more 50-50 balls. It's 70-30 now.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and then you got Devontae Smith on the other side. Who look, he's light. There are some routes that he'll run them, shouldn't run them. You shouldn't really be. You shouldn't be taking him across the middle if it's not.
No, not at all.
I don't think it's worth it. I think you got enough dudes that can control in between the hashes.
Yeah.
You got Zach Pascal and
what he can do on the vertical element of the game, I think, is being slept on because he didn't necessarily get a chance to fully, do that last season because of how weak we were inside that receiving room. Then you add in a guy like Zach Pascal, who, Zach's kind of the dirty work dude. He's going to do all the dirty work. He's going to be the conversion guy. He's going to be basically a bigger version of Greg Ward with a little bit more athleticism.
That's he's going to be Jason Avant, for real. And
then
he's going to be Jason Avant in the Chip Kelly offense. He's going to
be what Reagor should have been.
Like that.
Yeah.
He's going to be what Reagor should have been.
Well, we already know Greg Ward's not making the squad this year. So
no, he's not. No. I mean, the real question is what do they do with Jalen Reagor? I mean, that's a tough decision.
I think he stays. I'm just glad that we got rid of J-Jaw. That's the biggest news today.
Yes.
I thought we were going to get a washing machine and a judge machine for him. We actually got like a special teams ace for J-Jaw.
I feel like this is a perfect situation for Jalen Reagor, to be honest. I mean, he came in top of the world, starting from the beginning, all that. Now he got to actually work to make this team. And I feel like he'd be a solid 4th, probably 5th wide receiver because he could play special teams. He could come in for the reverses, the jet sweeps, and stuff like that. You don't got to depend on him for like 70 to 80% of the snaps. There's way less pressure. And then if somebody go down, he know the offense. So I mean, I feel like it's the best situation for him right now. It's going to humble him a whole lot.
But does he have these? That's the issue.
I mean,
that's
everybody got these.
No. Not everybody has these. He has these. I'm talking about these.
This really like in all reality, it's really a good situation for Jalen Reagor because now he actually got to work for something. He didn't have to work at first.
I definitely get that from Reagor's standpoint, but from the Eagles' standpoint, I don't know how it makes sense for him to be the 5. Especially if they mess around, they put Covey on this roster as a special teams player, then what is Reagor doing here? What is his role? Is he simply here in case there's an injury, so that way you got a top, prospect that you can kind of move up the roster now? Because I don't
make him the Greg Ward.
Yeah, I don't think he's in that role, to be honest. Not this year.
He's worth. I think his contract this year is worth 3.8, right? 3.5.
Yeah, something against the cap, something like that against the cap.
What is he worth? What are you going to get for him? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
he's going to be on the squad,
5th rounder,
and it's all guaranteed.
And that team that is accepting him has to be a major blow and major injury for the next 2 weeks or the end of camp, whatever you want to start it, or before trading deadline. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, the Eagles are going to pay some of that salary.
Dallas looking for a guy.
I was going to make a video, guys, and I was going to talk about Reagor, and I was like, "Yo, I'm not," because I just made a video about Reagor. This guy's already gotten mad at me once before for I don't know what, because I've never come at him sideways.
Oh, he blocked you, or did his dad come after you? Or did he block you?
No, he blocked me.
He said his dad.
Yo, his dad will come at you. His dad will come at you.
Hey, it is what it is. I like Monty. I ain't got nothing against Monty, but it is what it is, man. I never said nothing sideways. I'm just speaking the facts of what the film shows.
Yeah.
Hey. And
bring my dad to you.
Like, stay off Twitter. Stay off Twitter.
Yeah, like I look at Reagor and I'm like, man, I don't understand how he fits here. But I was going to make a video because they're doing something with him in preseason. You don't come out there and work him and give him that kind of load for no reason. So are you trying to find a way of incorporating him into your offense, or are you trying to showcase him?
I think it's a sales ticket. It's a sales ticket.
I think. Yeah, you're trying
to showcase him. But in all honesty, you want your 4th, 5th wide receiver to be a Jalen Reagor type player. You get me? A versatile type player. You can stick him. I mean, like to me, I feel like we could have kind of used Reagor like more of a Deebo Samuels type role. I mean, give him just put the football in his hands. He don't really necessarily gotta run special routes or nothing like that.
Rock, I've been saying that because he runs the ball like a running back. Give him,
you can actually use him in that kind of role.
Yeah,
well, and I think that would be his role, One Tree Rock. If I'm being real, if he's carried on the roster and they have to play him, like say it's something like Ertz, where you're gonna have to carry this guy to the deadline and hope something happens.
Right.
That'd probably be his role. He's a gadget player. He'd be a gadget player for the offense, in my opinion.
Oh, well, I'm not going to disrespect his name, but we can use him kind of like a poor man's Percy Harvin.
or like a Cordero Patterson. You can use him like a Cordero Patterson.
I'm not. Don't disrespect his name because
you give him too much credit.
They converted Cordero Patterson into a running back last year.
Yeah.
Maybe that's regular role. You use him out the backfield, match him up against linebackers and stuff like that.
Yo, last year
you gotta get a little bit more creative with your offense. Like
facts. Well, you seen what he did. He had a little thing going in the Detroit Lions game.
Yep. Before he got hurt.
Before he got hurt, like he was doing some of that stuff. So I liked it. But I ain't trying to disrespect Cordell Patterson and Percy Harvin or Debo. But I had Debo and Cordell on my fantasy team. I was killing last year.
Mm-hmm. The little screen passes, the little jet sweeps. Man,
I knew one of them was gonna. I knew both of them was gonna get a touchdown some way, somehow.
Yeah, see, here's the thing: is I was actually gonna make my video today. Was gonna be my first 53-man roster projection. I was gonna break it down by position group, how I saw it, and then explain why I put certain, controversial guys on the roster and why I took other guys off. And then the news broke on the trade, and I'm like, well, thanks. That's completely killed that. There's no point in doing that video tonight. There's no point in it.
So quick question before you kill it. So was J. Jaw gonna make it a wide receiver or tight end?
I had him straight cut.
Well, they traded him at wide receiver.
Hey, I got a practice squad put together, and he wasn't even on my practice squad.
Yeah, man. Oh, he's terrible.
Water boy.
Bro, think about it.
JJ like he can't block. JJ can block his butt off.
Yo, listen. 3 years, 1 touchdown, right? 3 years, 1 touchdown, 36 receptions for 290 yards in 3 years. And his touchdown wasn't even a receiving touchdown. It was a fumble.
It was a fumble recovery. Yep.
Damn. That is terrible.
Horrible.
And that's why, when they traded him, I said, we probably got a washing machine. We probably got the brand new Whirlpool. We probably got a slushy machine. We probably got something. We probably got the pineapple smoothie, something, B.
Yeah. We actually got to do this.
I don't know how much college football all y'all watch, but me watching Stanford and how that offense was ran, I knew JJ wasn't a good fit here, period. It's like, he's a dude. He was beating up on dudes that's about to be electricians and stuff like that. Why none of them dudes going to the league for real?
I live in Arizona. He played in the Pac-12. Pac-12 football. They don't play no damn defense.
No
here.
defense
They're
at
terrible.
all.
They're terrible. He was it was like I remember my junior year. It was like us going against Reggie Bush my junior year when I came to Arizona. I moved here. I got on the train from Philadelphia to damn Tucson, Arizona. I am the original Wills. I'm original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I didn't move to Bel-Air though. I moved to ghetto ass Tucson. When I played football there, bro, it was a different type of I was like, damn, okay. Cats on the West Side, cats on the West Coast can ball. Man, I seen that damn Reggie Bush. I said, yo, something different.
Different.
That's him. You know what I'm saying? Something different. With JJ, it was crazy though. It was they were really selling us him. They were like, oh, he's gonna replace Alshon Jeffrey. And I was like, how?
Yeah. The crazy thing is from every metric, every analytic, you would have looked at JJ and said, oh, yeah, man, this dude can play. He got more consistent over time, all this stuff. And then you go in and you run the film and you watch the way that he was setting routes up, and it's like, oh, okay, he's got a little bit to learn here. He's kind of tight in the hips, not really setting up defensive backs. He's just out muscling them. And that's the thing I got on people when they were coming at me about Drake London. I said, look, I'm not saying that Drake London has breakaway speed because he doesn't, but Drake London is way better setting defensive backs up. He knows how to actually play. He knows actually how to play off of the leverage.
He's a good route runner. He's strong as hell.
Yeah.
He understands how to use his body.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He can catch the football.
The main part.
Hey, listen, and he can catch a high point. He knows
he high point the football. Yeah,
he high point the football because he it's 6'6", 6'5" going against 5'11", 5'10", 5'9". I'm going to win that.
The only concern about Drake London is injury. And he got injured in that first preseason game.
Yeah, first preseason game. Yeah.
You know, and the crazy thing is
yeah?
in that draft, I mocked us twice in the second round. I mocked George Pickens to the Eagles. And then in my draft guide, I said, in my draft guide, I was like, look, I could be wrong about George Pickens. Okay. This could be me trying to think that this guy is a DK Metcalf situation. It's true. I could be completely wrong here. But something in my gut tells me this guy is going to be way better as a professional compared to a collegiate athlete.
Most definitely.
And dude, he is showing out in camp. I'm like, man, like it's good. It's good when you get those gut instincts and like you start seeing it's like, oh yeah, like
listen, this is when I knew when the
Heiter.
Steelers pick a wide receiver, they're gonna be legit. They just know how to pick. They just know how to pick wide receivers. And then number two,
And Claypool last year.
You know what I'm saying? And then number two, when I see Young Bull at the draft party wearing the ski mask and holding himself like NBA Young Bull, I say, yo, son ready. That's a son ready.
WWE.
What I like about Pickens though, Pickens is he not cocky. He confident. Like confident as hell. Like he confident in his ability. He gonna tell you what he gonna do and do it. Like bro, he's I love receivers like that. He a dog receiver. Like he's not the fastest, he's not the quickest, nothing. But once that whistle blow, he gonna give it to you every play.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's
really dirty about that though? One Trey Rock is that they had that fight where they recorded that fight of him in the game, and what everyone I went back and I watched it. I was like, yo, there's something about this is fishy to me. So I went back and watched the game to see the whole thing escalate. Old dude threw some shots at him. I mean, dude was hitting him. And then finally Pickens lost it and started throwing him all around. Mm-hmm. And then they only caught Pickens throwing him around. They never showed you the clips of the dude punching him. Like the dude, unloaded on Pickens. Maybe Pickens said something to him that maybe it was a little over. I don't know. But it was like, yo, okay, man, like this is not the full scope of what happened here. Like, yes, should he be out there hitting somebody? Nah, man, like he lost it, sure. But like y'all made it look like he just went after somebody and attacked him. And it's like, no, the truth of the matter is dude was throwing headshots at him. And then he just finally said, okay, this is enough. And he started slinging the dude. And it was like that narrative, like, because everyone was like, oh, he's not going to go in the second round. I'm like, look, crazier things have happened. But if this dude's not a second round pick, I have lost track and I've lost sight of what makes a dude a top 60 pick.
Before the injury, though, I thought he was a first round pick, to be honest. He's one of the best wide receivers in the country.
Yeah.
And he was playing for the best team in the country.
Yeah, I think people are looking at Claypool and saying, like, it's going to be a similar situation where he gets undervalued and drafted in the third. And I'm like, no, man, I think people learn from Claypool. I think people learn from that.
So we're talking about fighting here. What the heck happened with my Dillard today? What was that all about?
That's a long-standing thing going on with Barnett and Dillard. I don't know if they don't like each other or what it is, but Barnett just got a way of getting underneath Dillard's skin.
And we made him cry before.
That was made him cry.
Yeah, I've seen mixed reactions on it. Like some people think that it's a good sign for Dillard that Dillard's like matured and won't take the crap anymore. But then it's like other people are like, well, if Duke can get underneath your skin and cause you to do that, what's really to stop
your
game from someone to really trying to get you to do something stupid that's going to invoke a flag, Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough to say.
I love.
I don't know where I'm from. Where I'm from. That's kind of like motivation. We love stuff like that. Like, come on, bro. Yeah, keep rapping. It just make you up and make your game a little bit better. I mean,
man.
Some people not mentally tough enough to handle it, but coming from Philly, playing for like a North Philadelphia Pop Warner team, North Philadelphia high school team, that's all you get all day. Trash talk.
All day.
You at the bottom of the pile, they poke you in your eyes, they do whatever they can to throw you off your game.
Bro,
I got my
turfing with
I got my jersey turned inside out. When I played Pop Warner ball,
the battles between like Philly and like South Jersey with I went to Palomar High School, and like the battles that we had, and we used to come in there and mix up with them. Man, and I remember one time we had a get together on practice, and I was a wide receiver, but I was a wide receiver, running back, and then safety. I played safety, and I remember, oh man, I could never forget his damn name. His name was Dewan Anderson. Mm-hmm. This cat, man, shout out. I don't know if he watched it. He subscribes to the channel. I couldn't stand this cat, son. Oh my goodness. He was really this. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna knock your ass out every time. It didn't matter. Either I play college basketball, but like play basketball or football. Football was my love, but basketball was my love. I love fighting. I just love fighting. Number one. Let's be honest. You're not gonna hurt me because I'm wearing pads, so It's not gonna hurt me. I'm gonna hit you like you hit me, and yo, we gonna get at it. I loved it, and then it turned that the burning like yo, let's get fire. Yeah, man, I loved it. Like I remember my pops would be like, yo, there's something really wrong with your ass. I remember my pops told me that. I was like, yo, pops, like, yo, you was crazier than I was. He's like, yeah, but I wasn't athletic like you. I'm like, no, I love that. He's like, man, I raised some hard-headed ass sons. Like, you know what I mean?
If you never played in hostile environments, you never experienced real football.
No.
Like you never experienced. Like for perfect example, I played for the North Philly Aztecs since I was a kid, all the way up until I was like 11 years old. Our rivals was the Cecil B. Moore Blackhawks. Them games was like college football games. You kids, you got grown people cursing at you, all that.
Hey,
it's just, the environment is
fights. They be grown folks fighting on the field.
And we going up there every year, or they coming down 100 Park. It was one of the best experiences of my life. Until this day, a lot of us on my team and the other team, we all still friends to this day. We all didn't play high school together and everything. But once that whistle blow, we hated each other. I didn't care who you was. You could be my cousin. you could be my cousin. I'm gonna hit you as hard as I can, and then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna talk smack right in your face. What's up? Yep. Let's go at it the next play. No, it was like it was hostile. It was hostile. It was like it made you to kind of built you into the person that you is now. Like you could take a lot more stuff than you probably could have handled back then. And it's like sports just do that to you, period. It could be basketball, football, baseball. You gonna have those rivalries. That's gonna bring the best out of you. That's just like the Cowboys. Eagles play the Cowboys. If you never even played in that game, it's still gonna mean a lot to you because it means a lot to the city. It's like you're gonna hear it everywhere. That's like a national holiday when we play the Cowboys.
I got you, but it's different. But and now now I live in Arizona. It's different. It's different out here from from the East Coast. Like it's just football is just different. Okay. So we go to playoffs, right? I'm wearing Eagle stuff. I'm in Dallas. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna mess with me. Like it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? They treated me with so much respect. They treated me like a king. It was nice. And then the one guy, he's like, yeah, man, you having fun? I'm like, oh, this is a blast. He's like, yeah, well, you know what? He's like, what did he say? Oh, one day I'm going to go to Philly. I was like, are you a Dallas fan? He said, yeah. I said, yeah, you don't.
You ain't gonna like that. You don't want to do that. I like you. You don't want to do that.
Way different from y'all. Y'all are nice. Y'all play patty cake out here. Like, yeah, man.
Invite somebody over to the barbecue.
Yeah, dude, I got invited to so many barbecues. People buy me drinks.
Come over here. You're going to get put in the fryer.
They were like, yeah, man, I'm going to come to Philly. I was like, nah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Man, I was on
I promise you it's going to be different, bro. They're going to run you right back to your hotel.
When I left Delaware and I moved to North Carolina, I was on this elite AAU travel team. And it featured Josh Hamilton, former former MVP, former 5-time, batting champ, whole 9 yards. Dude was a pitcher. Elite pitcher back then. He's a couple years older than me. He's like my older brother's age. He's like a couple years older than me. And I was batting leadoff, man. This dude threw me 2 brushbacks, trying to back me off the plate. So he said something, and his catcher said something to me, and I'm like, all right, whatever, bro. Next pitch, dude hits me. He hits me like, you know that vein that runs right by your knuckle? Bro, hit me right there and popped it.
That was fighting words.
Yo, when I say I lost it, I took it back to the mound on this dude. I didn't even realize I was doing it. Like, I was talking all kinds of shit. Like, man, like the umps came at me, man. My dad had to come drag me off the field. I was ready to fight this kid for real. Like, I was ready. Like, yo, I'm about to find out if you really say you are. Yeah.
Is there a video of that?
Hey, Ken, tell us, Ken.
It's not a good look.
That Philly trash talk, it'd be different, bro.
It's different. It's different.
Like,
it's
they
different.
strike a whole different nerve. Like, you'd be like, yo, when I come out this huddle, I'm going, I don't even care what the play is. Don't give me the ball right now. I'm going to go find this dude. Like,
Seek and destroy.
I'm going to do all this trash, and I'm going to find number 10. And I'm going to slam him right on his head, bro. I promise you. Like, yo.
Yeah. It's bad, bro. Like, yo,
I miss it. I miss the competitive juices back in Philly, South Jersey. I remember we would a couple times we would go up to New York. I was out, and we end up making it to the Nationals, and it was a team from like I think it was like Mississippi. They came up, and man, we the entire time, I moved to West Philly, and I'm playing West Philly High. They're like, they talking slow. I'm like, oh, y'all some country bunking up. You know what I mean? We just talking, like we just getting at them, letting them know. They like, oh, Philly cheesesteak sucks. All right, word. That pressed the nerve right there.
We gonna show you the whiz.
We gonna give you that whiz. We gonna let you know what's up. You know what I mean? We gonna give you that tasty cake. You know what I'm saying? We was gonna give it to them all day, man.
It'd be fun though. It'd be all for the love of the game though, man. It's like they bring the best. We all bring the best out of each other. It used to be so much fun, man.
I took it so far. I took it so far one time, man. You guys remember Anthony Rush? Played defensive line for Philly for a few years. Big dude, real big guy. He played at a place called Cary. He's a lot younger than me. I never got into it with him, but I was telling Reese this, Philly Fresh. I only played running back one game in my entire football career. One game. I'll tell you what did it in for me, man. We were playing against Cary. I played at a place called Garner High. Garner, if you guys know Naheem Hines, that's where he came out of.
Yeah.
So, I get the ball, I get tackled, man. I've never been at the bottom of a pile like that before. And nobody give me no informal, information about what happens at the bottom of these piles. And like I'm getting I'm getting hit. Like dudes are getting up underneath my chin and stuff, like trying to like pop my helmet up, like
sliding their head back, biting
I was getting hit ribs. This was crazy, man. I'm like, what is happening here?
Dirty.
So when they finally go to take the last dude up off me, like, no, I'm getting my revenge now because I done took like 15, 20 shots. Like, no, somebody coming down here with me. So I grabbed him by the face mask and I pulled him back down. And I started hitting them ear holes as hard as I could. Man, when I say that they turned my jersey inside out, made me sit on the bench so damn fast, I was like, man, I ain't playing running back again. I'll never play that again.
Nah, man.
That's how it is. That's how
I hated them problems, bro.
I was an athlete. I was a clean cat. I wanted to be like Dion. You ain't hitting me. I was that cat in high school. So like you weren't gonna hit me, but I'll hit your ass. It ain't go both ways. I'm gonna win. I got hit a couple of times though. I ain't gonna even front.
Yeah.
I got hit a couple of times.
It happens to everybody. Yeah.
But that's what makes you tough. That's what makes you tough. And this is how it goes. War is war. This is the way we get down.
It's war. When that whistle blew,
war is war.
Yeah. My first story of when I came down for high school ball in North Carolina, man. You said you played basketball, so you'll enjoy this story.
Yeah.
No, man. We go to the gym, right? And I was playing a pickup game. Everybody picking teams, right? And like, there's one team only got like 4 dudes. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I'm like, oh no, our 5th guy's coming. He's coming, right? Okay, cool. All right, so we start playing in the game. 5th guy gets there. You know who their 5th guy was? Fucking David West.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like 6'9", David West, Indiana.
David West, yeah, he played at Garner. Like, I didn't know who this dude was because I just moved to North Carolina. This dude was dunking on me, bro. Like all over. Nothing I could do to stop him.
White boy can't jump.
Oh,
6'9", I can't.
Yeah, he's 6'9". Like, yo, David West is a good 6'9".
like,
And he
David
is
West is
like I didn't want to end up on someone's poster. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. Like,
he ain't no punk. David West is a good dude, though, man.
He's a
yeah,
good
he's a good
dude.
guy. I like David, man. His
Good dude,
little brother was a good athlete too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
He still runs camps out that way too.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
man. I
what's
remember
up.
that. I was like, yo, man, y'all hustled us, bro. Talking about, no, our fifth guy's coming. Come on, man.
6'9", 6'10", big ass David West. Hey, I got next. Oh, you on now? All right, cool.
They have any money on
I
the court?
remember asking people too. I'm like, who is that dude? Because the dude come in, like, you go to someone that tall. You're like, who is this dude?
I
And
feel
they're like,
you, man.
David. I'm like, who's
I feel
that?
you.
Yeah, they're like, you're gonna find out. Don't worry. Yeah.
My sophomore year, we went up to New York, and so my freshman year, I was a little bit behind DeJuan Wagner. I watched DeJuan Wagner put up 100 points. So DeJuan was nasty. So like everybody in Camden, New Jersey, DeJuan was the man. Allen Iverson will pull up, right? Mm-hmm. So it is what it is, right? So they're like, yo, there's this kid in New York, man. He nice. His name is Sebastian. I'm like, with the name like that, he whack. I'm like, yo, he whack with a name like that, son. I was like, listen, I'm 6'3".
He last airbendered your ass.
Oh my god, yo, I've never seen somebody that quick move side to side like just. I was like, yo, son, quick as hell.
Yeah. Telfair was a monster.
He was a monster. He had a mid range. He can lay up. He had all the jelly. He had it. He had it, man. Yes,
bro. I was at the game. It was at what court? What they called it? It was right there on Temple. I can't remember the name right now. I'm blanking.
North Philly.
Yep. When LeBron came down and played Strawberry Mansion when they played Reese Rice.
Yeah.
Bro, I was at the game. Yo, that game was so lit, yo. LeBron beat them dudes by like 60 though. Mind you, they the best high school team in Philly. They didn't went like 35-0. All that. Reese Rice averaging like 40 points a game. Mm-hmm. LeBron came down there. It was like a movie scene or something. It was like, yo, they rolled out the red carpet for this dude. He was only in high school. He was in like 10th grade. Yeah. Like 10th, 11th grade. Rolled out we all standing there. We like, we kids. We don't really understand it. We like
jammed your ass.
Yeah, we don't really understand what's going on. We just know this is about to be a big game. It's about to be lit. Yo, they came down there and they spanked Reese Rice in them ass and then just left. I was like, oh God.
First of all, Strawberry Mansion had one of the best high school teams I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly.
In 2003, they had the best. And I remember Summer League, we played against LeBron and them, and the first play was tip the ball, he gets the ball, puts it under his legs, and dunks it. And I remember looking at the other guard, which is my boy Damon Turner.
It's over.
We looked at each other. We was like, yo, for real?
It was over.
Mind you, I'm one of the top guards in the nation. I'm on the West Coast now. I'm one of the top guards in the nation. He's one of the top guards in the nation. And we're like, yo, where did this cat come from? And I was like, and I told him, I was like, listen, I played against this cat in the 8th grade, and he was dunking while I was like 5'6". He was nasty in like 98. And he just grew up to be a monster. Yeah. Him and Melo gave me and Sean Livingston gave us the business. Gave us the business.
Man, yeah.
Business, man.
I met LeBron. Yeah, it was probably right around that time, 2002, 2003, somewhere in that area. It was somewhere in that area. Mm-hmm. I worked for this company. It was called Southeastern Janitorial. It was like right before I actually went into the service, man. And the dude who owned the company, his son was Shavlik Randolph. I actually played for the Sixers for a little bit. Shav played at Duke, and they were on it was like an AAU circuit thing, and it was like one of those Nike type camp things. And I remember they brought in all the equipment and all the gear, and like they had us kind of like set up because we were like going to give them out to him because like the dude that owned the company, like his son's, so they just want to go and do work that day. Basically, that's just North Carolina politics, bro. Like they don't even care about nothing like that. I remember thinking to myself, like, damn, that dude is big, bro. He's like a linebacker, man. You say a dude play basketball? Like,
yeah,
big. And like, don't get me wrong, like Shav and them were big. I mean, like 6'10", 6'11" dudes, but like he just built. LeBron was built different.
He was a grown ass man in my senior year. I graduated with him. I graduated 2003. He was a grown ass man, yo. I was like, yo, this is unfair. This is unfair, man. It's crazy.
God mode you.
Yeah, him, and then the other cat was Kendrick Perkins. God, yo, listen, nobody can, nope. And Tyson Chandler when I moved to the West Coast. Tyson Chandler was a man of his boys, man. It was crazy. Oh my God, he was.
There is only one time I've ever felt that way, and that was my senior year of high school. You know, my high school team, I played for Carlisle High School, and I'll tell you what, man, we were untouchable. I'm not gonna lie. Like that year, everything was just clicking, man.
Y'all were a powerhouse.
Made it all the way to the championship game, dude, in Hershey. And who do we get to face? All but Bishop McDevitt. And who did they have? LaShawn McCoy.
Shady.
I'm telling you. Listen, bro. From a guy who got to play against him. I'm telling you right now.
Yo, was he shaking everybody down, like just making them fall?
In football, I played wide receiver and I played strong safety. And the reason I played strong safety is I was very fast, so I could blitz the quarterback very quickly. And I'll tell you what, man, I remember that whole year, his senior year, he did not play because he broke his leg.
Yeah, he broke his ankle, right?
Yeah.
His ankle. He
came back. Our game, the championship game, is the game he comes back on. You know, he didn't play all year if I'm correct, because it's been that long. I don't think he played the entire year. The championship game is the game he comes back. And I remember sitting there and everyone's like psyched. We're pumped. We're like, yeah, we got this. You know, he hasn't played all year, blah, blah, blah. Bro. No.
Some guys are just different.
This cat was on a whole nother level, bro. I remember one time I was playing strong safety and my defensive coordinator sent me on a blitz, right? And no lie, dude, I'm running right at him and the QB holds the ball. It's a delayed handoff. I go to get him, bro. He was gone as quick as I seen him. Like,
where are my ankles?
He was gone as quick as I seen him. One game, bro.
Smoke coming out the shoes.
He had 300. I think he had like 340 yards and 3 touchdowns on that game. Bro, he fucked us up. The whole time, all I saw was fucking Silver running down the sideline all night long, bro. That's all he saw. He slaughtered the fuck out of us. I felt like Pee Wee again, and he was all like high school. Dude, it was.
Bro,
that's crazy.
That's how I felt with Reggie Bush, man. Reggie Bush did the old shit move on us. He ran the other side, and I was like, "Oh, he coming this way." He went the other way, and he scored. I said, and you know when you nice and you like, damn, my confidence is shot. Like,
bro,
he make you think long and hard about that shit. Like,
it gave me that, man. I mean, and in my pops, he made it worse. So he's gonna let him run over you like that, huh? Every time. Yo, bro, I remember we about to go to the playoffs, right? My pops like, so you didn't let them, you didn't let 21 do you like that. Like, I'm like, yeah, every time.
Bro, I ain't gonna
different, bro.
Man,
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. McCoy had me sitting next to the water cooler all night.
I put my cleats up.
Kick our ass like that. And he ain't play all season though. That's the crazy part. He just dropped 350 on it.
What made it bad is it wasn't the fact that he was faster than me. Nah, he was not faster than me. The fact
quicker.
Bring the motherfucker down. Like, there was no bringing McCoy down, bro. As soon as he got the ball in his hand, he was untouchable. That's what made the kid dangerous, and he proved that his whole career.
Bro, if you watch some McCoy highlights from high school, he was like a joystick. Like, that dude was,
bro, I know. Like I said, one moment he was there, the next he wasn't. It It was easy peasy, bro. It was like a video game to him. Like you could tell everybody on that field was on one level and he was somewhere else. Like no one on his team could match his talent. He ran around his whole team half the time. Hell, bro, he didn't even need offensive linemen. Like he fucking ran. You know what I mean? And it didn't matter what you fucking did. You could grab him around the waist, bro. He just chucked you off like it was nothing. It was.
He's probably been playing football since he was like 3.
Yeah.
No, bro. Listen, he was a pro when he was a senior. I'm not even playing like that.
Oh, bro, when he went to Pitt, bro, he was something else.
He was doing them dirty in Pitt.
He was,
oh my God.
he was something else. I was so happy when we drafted him in the second round, man.
I'll
never forget. He wasn't number
it,
25. He was number 29. Y'all remember that when he was number 29?
Yeah.
I was like, yo. And I remember telling my vet, I was like, Pops, this kid is nice. He's like, yeah, the kid from Pitt. I said, yeah, he's nice.
Well,
He's
see,
like,
and I
"It's an
remember
ugly name."
his senior year, he was really scared because the doctor told him if he ever broke his ankle again, like he did, he'd never be able to play again. You know, so that was one of his big major, worries in his career, that if he snapped his ankle again, he'd be done. I'll tell you what, bro, for how bad he hurt his ankle, shit, he didn't act like it was broke. I'll tell you that.
He worked, man. You know what I mean? He was always on the bike. He's always doing exercises, always, working his body.
Flexibility.
So.
He was really big on flexibility. That was the reason why he was successful. Hey, so Gay, I have a question.
The crazy thing about Shady is all that dancing and stuff he did. He never really had like a major injury in the NFL.
Oh,
It was like, nobody never could hit him. Like you couldn't hit him clean.
Didn't get him clean, yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't really hit him. I have a question for you, Gay. So with this 2022 season approaching, right? What is the ceiling and what is like the basic you see this Philadelphia Eagle team going?
I don't want to put a jinx on the team, but I think the ceiling is that this team is a Super Bowl competitor. Just be honest. The talent level is good enough to compete. I don't think there's any doubt that there's enough talent on this team. Now, look, is everything ironed out at safety? No. Questions behind Dallas Goedert at tight end? Sure. Running back position group, I like Miles Sanders, but I don't know if it's, built correctly quite yet.
Right.
Yeah. That said, I just think if you look at it from top to bottom, this team should be able to compete with anybody. It's a matter of, number one, you got to have luck on your side. The breaks got to fall right.
Football got to bounce the right way, man.
Yeah. The other thing is that, coaching's got to be on point, right? I mean, between, Nick kind of being that executive coach, coming up with the game plans, coming up with the install of the offense, like that, all that stuff's got to be on cue with it. Shane Steichen being the play caller, all that, all that stuff's got to come together. Jalen getting the offense into a rhythm and kind of formulating this into something that becomes incredibly difficult to defend. And I know everybody doesn't, they don't want him to run the ball. They don't want him to leave the pocket, but it's part of what makes them difficult to defend.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, you can't neuter the cat.
I really want to hit on that because I was actually wanting to ask you this question tonight. There is a lot of people out there who have, like for instance, Hasselbeck. He bitched about Jalen pocket early the other night or the other day, Sure. And he said it was a clean pocket. Why did you scramble? Blah, blah, blah. Well, even Nick said it. Everyone was covered on that play. So what does he do? Yes, I understand it is a clean pocket. He could stand there if he wanted to and wait. But what does going and scrambling to the outside do? It draws the defense towards him because they're scared he's going to run, which then opens up the wide receivers. So I understand sometimes you might not want him to leave a clean pocket, but if it is to help open up wide receivers so he can pass the ball and not just necessarily run, I'm okay with it. Sometimes the kids got to do stuff to make things happen.
You 6 for 6.
Yeah, it's tough to look. I mean, I think every time Jalen leaves the pocket, there's going to be a sneaking suspicion that he's eluding a false sense of pressure when that's not always the case. Yeah. I think that's what Nick was trying to point out. Sometimes you leave the pocket because your threat of breaking the pocket can draw coverage off. Mm-hmm. It can open up a gap if there's a zone system. It can do things like that. With that said, I don't really know what Hasselbeck was talking about. I don't know what throw he perceived was open because, I mean, look, I haven't had a chance to look at all 22 because
He was bitching about the one where he scrambled.
No, I know the play he's talking about, but I don't know. I don't have all 22 to see what read he thinks was there.
He was nitpicking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that would be my thing. Is like I heard some people nitpick the check down to Miles Sanders, and I disagree. That read to Goddard was not there. They're not looking at the man who's undercutting.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been picked. He threw that ball to Goddard. It's a pick. He made the read first. Goddard was the primary read. You go inside, outside, down the check. That's the way that read works. Like he went through his progressions and he did it fast. And that's the play I told everybody. That was the one that tipped me off. He's made a lot of advancements because he processed that play faster than my eyes could see it. I had to go back and keep watching it to see what he did. And then I was like, oh, I get the structure of this play now. I see exactly what's going on here. And there was a linebacker or safety that kind of drifted underneath Goddard. And that's why he pulled it back. That's why he didn't make that throw. Now, can you argue that if you're great ball placement, timing, anticipation, can you sneak a pass like that past the defender? Sure. Still not the smartest play in the world to make, though. That's the whole argument of living
risky.
The other down. You know? With that said, the only criticism I could see, and I don't even think it's a criticism because it's a judgment call by the quarterback, is you could say if there's nothing there, you break containment, you break the pocket, the coverage doesn't react to it, you don't have the avenue to the first down. Perhaps in a preseason game, it would be smart just to throw the ball out of bounds and not try to, sure. Yeah, but now you're trying to regulate an athlete.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that. It's hard to tell the guy not to compete like it's a game.
Gate, that's what Tim Hasselbeck's trying to do. He's trying to basically tear away his legs and him be a pocket passer. And the thing is, who is Tim Hasselbeck to even be nitpicking? What have you done in your career? Come on, man.
A safety valve quarterback himself.
Come on now. You've made a ton of mistakes. Yeah, you're like Tim Hasselbeck is terrible. I don't even know. And then he goes, oh, the pocket dip right now. First of all, the guard, which was Sua Opeta, I think it was Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson got loose. He had to get out of the pocket. That is Jalen Hurts' game. I just don't understand why they love to nitpick with running quarterbacks. But then it'll be like, like let's say for instance, I think who did he say he had a good game? I think it was Trey Lance. Oh, he had a good game. Bro, no. He said, well, it's the Jets. The Jets had, but I said the Jets had all their starters there. Most of their starters in the game.
Yeah, they got Ahmad Garner. They got
the Packers. The Packers didn't even have their starters in the game, but he gave Trey Lance all this freedom. And then he actually said, "Oh well, I expect that out of Watson." Well, yeah, we all expect that of Watson. Watson hasn't played in like 500 days. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He always picks on Jalen. He picks on Jalen.
I think some of it to generate headlines.
Yep.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
I get the sneaking suspicion that there are some people who give takes predominantly around quarterbacks with movement ability because they know if they take a negative stance on it, it's one of those
going to get clicks.
You know what I'm saying? Like people are going to click on your video.
But he gave mad love to Carson Wentz.
Can I give you another theory? I think a lot of media people are tough on Jalen because he's the first quarterback we've seen in a long time who can't be broken.
Yeah.
Like, and all honesty, you can throw anything at this kid. He stays even keel every time. And I think that pisses the media off because they like reaction. They like whenever quarterbacks give you what they want. This kid isn't giving them what they want, and it pisses them off. So they're going to do whatever they can to get him to react somehow, some way, but it's not working.
Yeah. And, honestly, the way I look at it is there are a few key components you can look at. Number one is did he make any advancements, any progressions, anything that looks like, okay, clearly some work took place in the offseason and we see some development. Yes, to me, he checks that box, clearly. Yep. Next thing is does he have the faith and the confidence of the receivers? Yeah, I would check that off. Clearly he does. Next thing to me is does he have the faith and the confidence of the offensive line? And those dudes are coming to his defense. I'm going to say he does.
Yep.
Does he have
was going to beat up that dude.
of the team, basically, would be your next step.
I love
like,
that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, like that's the way I look at it is, and like, you know, LB and those guys, they asked me, like, you know, they're playing theoretical games. They're like, theoretically, what do you think it would take for him to be benched? And I said, in my opinion, it's the famous scene from Gladiator where he's about to eat and he's afraid they poison the food. And the big German dude reaches in there, eats the food, and the one guy tells him, he says, they can't kill you until they kill your name. As like I said, when you look at Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, you can't bench him unless he loses the locker room.
I think he's going to take an injury.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to lose the locker room just because I don't think he's, you know, I think he's always going to do the right thing. I'm not saying the right decision on the field, but I think everything surrounding it, he's always going to do that right thing, you know?
Okay,
And,
so hold on, real quick. And this is a question for you, and this is a question for you and Trey Rock. And I definitely want to hear Trey Rock's opinion. For you to sit there and say this is the correct way that Jalen goes his way, this falls right into the lap. Do you feel that it was necessary to say that Jalen said, well, talks to AJ and goes, AJ, I'm not throwing you the ball because all in camp, all they talk about is I throw you the ball all the time. All right, I'm gonna let Trey Rock go first, and then City, I want to hear what you want to say. What you think about that?
I mean,
because you know, if he gets the ball, we're excited, right? The crowd goes wild if AJ gets the ball. It's McNabb to TO.
I think a lot of these players, I mean, say they don't hear what's going on, but they really hear what's going on.
Oh, dude, they got the ear up against the wall.
Yeah, they hear what's going on. It's just media appropriate to say that. But I'm pretty sure they on Twitter, they on Instagram, they on all these sites. They know what's going on. Oh, Jalen Hurts. They probably thought Jalen Hurts was going to throw AJ Brown the ball 1,000,000 times in that preseason game.
Yeah.
So they're
going to wait for the first team.
I mean, like, listen, we want to see it. Everybody want to see it. Just that first completion. You could have just got it out the way. I mean, but he ran the structure of the offense that, I mean, they kind of double teamed AJ Brown the whole first series. Yeah, so it's like, why force the ball to him when you got Dallas Goedert right there wide open. Right there, that's progressing as a quarterback. That's progressing as a quarterback because in all reality, he tried to force feed last year. He tried to force feed Devontae Smith the ball. I mean, it's a good thing Devontae Smith was open a lot and he won a lot of those 50-50 ball situations, but he tried to force feed him a lot. It was like, when all else fails, let's just get Devontae the ball. Now you can see he's kind of looking more to spread the football around. I mean, that's what we want from our quarterback. You can't complain about it. And for the first question that y'all asked, I think it's more they understand the narrative in Philly. So it's like they're going to feed off of that. Yep. A lot of people in Philadelphia, our reality, they don't want Jalen Hurts as the quarterback. A lot of people don't. You see it. You see it on Twitter. You see it on Facebook. You see it on. They don't want him as the quarterback. And it's like media is going to feed off local media. Like big media is going to feed off local media. You see,
trying to go with the narrative.
Yeah, they're going to go with the narrative. Everybody loves Trey Lance in San Francisco right now. They don't really have nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah.
It's up in the air with Jalen Hurts right now. So they're going to feed off the negative narrative more than the positive one. Because in all reality, everybody up here want Jalen Hurts to succeed, but it's not like that out there. A lot of dudes calling for this dude here. He had one bad game, they done with him. So it's like,
I don't understand it.
The Giants game.
I don't get it either. I don't think he's a horrible quarterback. He got flaws like every other quarterback got, but I mean, he's not horrible. He's not the worst.
No.
People forget Brady. People forget Brady's been doing this for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and in all honesty,
and Aaron Rodgers too. You know what I mean? He's been doing it for a long time too. All these top quarterbacks, you know.
You know, the crazy thing to me is this. Like, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one to say, man. Because to be honest with you, on one hand, can you say that maybe he's letting some of this stuff, some of this narrative, get to him a little too much? and he really shouldn't care about that. Sure, I can understand that standpoint a little bit. But on the other hand, I think it was more so just to let AJ know why he wasn't, like, hey man,
Right.
don't feel a certain way. I'm doing this to make a point. Like,
Right.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
I think it was just for AJ to know, like, yo, man, like,
Well,
I don't want you to feel a certain way. Like,
for one, at the end of the interview, at the end of the game and the post game interview, I felt that AJ knew. AJ was like, he already told me, and I already knew what is. But I was like, AJ, did you see how they were guarding you? They bracketed you. They bracketed you, bro. That's what I said. When AJ on this team, Dallas Goedert,
so many other people.
Dallas Goedert is going to eat.
yeah,
Dallas Goedert is going to eat. Miles
Smith's
Sanders,
gonna eat.
Gainwell
Man,
is
I
going
tell
to
people.
eat because you're not going to be able to bracket him and our running back coming out of the same backfield on that same side. You're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to do that. You got to pick your
talking
poison.
about 1,000-yard receivers. I made a video, and I didn't say he was going to be a 1,000-yard receiver, but if you read between the lines, you can see what I'm trying to tell people. I think Dallas Goedert is going to be a 1,000-yard receiver because of AJ Brown. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy who's going to
Gate, this is what I say, Gate. This is what I say. I say he's going to have more yards than George Kittle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's very possible. Because honestly, I think Kittle's a very good player, but I think people will be shocked to see how little production Kittle has in the red zone.
Kittle 20 and 0. Yeah, and at times Kittle, he'll go to Kyle Shanahan.
And he's getting injured.
Can I get the ball? Exactly. Can I get the ball? I would love to get the ball. I would love to get moving. You know what I mean? Like those as a tight end like Dallas Goedert, he led the league. He had more. Was it average per catch? He had was it like 18, and then like it was like Yak was 11.
He had the highest yards per route run out of any tight end.
Bro,
So
after contact, man, he is
literally when
legit.
you measure the amount of routes he ran on the season compared to the yards he had, he was the most productive tight end in the league. Yeah,
that's
He's
crazy.
an animal.
By the way, AJ Brown was the fourth most productive wide receiver in the league when you measure by
and a run first offense.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you got I think Devontae Smith was like 30 something. So you have legitimate dudes here who can really produce stats.
Hey, pick your poison. That's all I gotta say.
And look, it's going to be really difficult to get the feel for what they're going to do with Quez Watkins and Zach Pascal. That's really the kind of the link is like, okay, like how much are these dudes going to get repped? The more they're in 11-man personnel, I think the more that won't matter as much. But if you start seeing them kind of get into those dominant run sets, because Nick likes to do that. Nick likes to play that dual wing concept thing that he does with tight ends, to where he likes to cross and match them and kind of try to confuse the defense and either run out of that or try to leak a tight end free from that. And I even seen that in a preseason game. He went there. I was putting in the 11 personnel, and I was like, yo, I sent the tweet out. I said, yeah, no sooner than I put that out there, they just went 12 personnel, and Rich Rod's in the game. Like, it's like, here goes Nick, And I say Nick, but truth be told, I don't know if that's Nick or Steichen. That could be Nick Steichen or Patullo, technically.
True.
It's hard to say. But I'm pumped, man, because if there's any creativity to this offense, this is going to be a hard offense to defend. A very difficult offense to defend.
Is there any chance we see Slay again in the offense this year?
I highly doubt it, just given the who's out there. But Slay, man. You know how Slay do. Slay just like,
Slay don't like the block, so probably not.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish last year we would have gave it to him one time though. I would have loved to just see it, just see what he could do. It would have been awesome.
It'll be interesting just because like the one thing I don't think we have is a guy that can go contact balance around. To be honest, to be fair, Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott were quite good in the goal line area, but they're not necessarily contact balance backs. Like Boston Scott, I think you can make a little bit more of an argument towards that because although he's not heavy, he's also like 5'7" and he's like 200 pounds. Like,
what about Kennedy Brooks? One of those dudes.
I don't think Kennedy Brooks is quite there yet. I don't know if that's a guy that maybe give him half the season to kind of get himself worked into the playbook, worked into the timing of the offense, and reading off those blocks. I mean, he ran violently, Trey Rock. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I saw some violence.
He did get a first down.
Bro, I can tell you right now, I was at the open practice. I was down at the end zone where they were doing those 5-yard drills, man, and he can move a pile.
Yeah,
Like,
there's some violence to him. There's no doubt. Yeah, he hits the hole with the intention of creating some violent atmosphere around him.
Yeah.
There was one run he had in that game to where he was taking some dudes for a ride.
Yeah. And that's what I always say about Kenny, man, is, I look at Kenny kind of like a Le'Veon Bell type back. Like, he's a very patient runner. And when the hole opens up, he explodes through it. But he's not the fastest guy. He's not the strongest guy. He will get caught. But you know what? He can make plays.
People were asking me about, they were asking me a little bit about Jason Huntley. And I really like Huntley. I do. I think Huntley has made a lot of improvements since 2020 to the current year. But I'll be honest. I'll be open and honest from what I saw. I think Huntley is on the verge of being good enough to be on an NFL roster, but I don't think it's quite there yet. I don't think the vision is quite good enough yet. I don't think he runs behind his pads enough.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have to be a unique fit for an offense that needs a change of pace back on
He's
third.
kind of the same dude he was in college.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's, like I said, I think the game speed has slowed down for him over the past couple of years, but I just don't, you know what I mean? I just don't think all the nuances are there to be an NFL back yet. Because you got to be able to pick up blitz, pass pro. You got to be able to pick up blitzes. You have to be – he can catch the ball, no doubt about that. But, if you're going to come in and you're going to be a third down specialist, then I got to trust you to be able to go get me a yard or two. You got to be able to contribute on the goal line. I don't think it's all there with him. You don't have to be that big. Kenneth Gainwell is not small, but he's not big either. And Kenneth Gainwell,
I kind of feel the same about Kenny Gainwell too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's more of a third down, change your pace type back, gadget dude.
But at least
that can just put out in the slot and
a
stuff
lot
like
more
that.
of a one cut though. He's more of a one cut runner than like Huntley. I think tries to get a little east and west a little too much. I'll be honest with you. Huntley is some of the things we criticize Miles Sanders for, I see in Huntley's game too. To where Huntley's always looking for that home run instead of just taking what's there.
Right.
And sometimes it works because he can break one, but other times it's like, hey man, you end up with a 2-yard run when there was clearly 6 yards there.
Right, you gotta take the yards that's there.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about halfbacks, man, coming out this year in the draft, this upcoming season. But, I am kind of looking ahead because of Miles and stuff. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll tell you what, man, if Hurts works out, which we all think he is going to, and we hope he does, I'm using one of those first on Bijan Robinson, man. I don't know how you feel about Bijan. He's a dog, and I think he would fit excellent with Jalen Hurts, dude.
Yeah, they need a couple pieces. I think that they should finally splurge on a safety, to be real.
Yeah, that too.
I think you need a solution there. I don't know what they're going to do at corner because I don't know that Bradbury and I don't know that Slayer long-term solutions to the spot. So I still feel like
they're older.
You've left 2 consecutive drafts without taking a corner high.
Right.
Yeah.
You can argue McPherson is a 4th
one of these dudes.
Yeah. But
develop a Josh Jobe or somebody like that, then man.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what scares me. It's like I know people are really high on Tay Gowan. Look, Zach McPherson does look a lot better from the year prior. He does.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that either one of those guys are ready to step up and play like a 4-game stretch where they got to be like the guy for 4 games. I would definitely be a little uneasy with those dudes in that kind of expanded role, to be honest.
But what you think
up to it? But
you think with all that experience in front of these younger guys, it'll be a little bit easier transition for them because you got Bradbury, he's a veteran. Slayer veteran. Avonte Maddy's one of the best nickel corners in the NFL. So you got all this experience in front of you. You don't think you could reach down and develop a dude like a Richard Sherman type or something like that? Like this somebody that they don't even gotta be a superstar. They could just be somebody that can hold that foot down for a couple years.
Yeah.
You don't think that's possible?
Yeah, you can. Absolutely, you can. It's difficult though, man, because like it's hard to have the narrative around the running back and things like that because it's changing. The game's changing and the style of play for running backs and like how many guys are going to come out? They're going to have the impacts of a Derrick Henry. How many guys are going to come out? They're going to have the the impact of Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
I thought Christian McCaffrey was a really good back, but Christian McCaffrey can't stay. He can't stay up
at all.
Yeah.
It's because he's small. He be taking a pounding. It's just like the running back from the Chargers. He a good running back, but he's supposed to be a pure dude. Like he supposed to have that big, strong dude, and he the one that thunder and lightning type. He's not going to carry the load for you all season. It's like it's a long season. He's going to get beat up.
Mm-hmm.
We seen with Derrick Henry last year. He started to wear down too. They're giving him so many carries.
Josh Jacobs, same thing kind of happened to him. Yeah.
The NFL is different now. You're never going to have one.
Dude that played for Minnesota.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook. Yeah, the other guy. Good back.
Dalvin Cook ain't never played a whole season in his career yet.
It's the same thing the Steelers are going to do with Najee Harris. I mean, hell, they
don't run him to the ground. They don't run Najee to the ground.
300
That's
times.
why it's better to run by committee.
Yeah.
I expect him to get 300 carries this year because he got that his rookie year. So.
Absolutely. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all so much for having me on.
No
yeah,
problem.
man. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
All right. Just let them know where they can find you.
Hey, Gatecity Sports Talk on YouTube, at Heiter Steve, I believe, on Twitter, and I think Instagram is at Steve_Heiter. Just type in Steve Heiter, you'll find me. Heitter, guys.
It was lovely having you on, man. Thanks for the wisdom. Go ahead, Rock.
Y'all already know y'all can find me at in the cave. I mean, one half of Birds on the Line, 1/4 for Birds of Broad Street. I mean, you ever want to talk, hit me up. One Trey Rock on everything. I'm out of here.
Go ahead, AK.
Yep, I am AK. I'm the host of AK Eagles podcast on the way to 1K. Appreciate you guys coming on and talking football. It's always a pleasure talking with each and every one of you. And yeah, man, just doing some good things and big things over here. And appreciate everyone that has followed and supported the channel. And, stay tuned. Appreciate it.
And I'm Jerry Lee, and this is the end of the Kelly Green episode 5. Take care.